Agriculture is one of the most dangerous occupations in Ireland. There were a total of 191 farm fatalities between 2014 and 2023. Every year there are an average of 20 fatal accidents on farms, with approximately 2,800 incidents occurring on a yearly basis. In 2023, 16 people lost their lives in farming related accidents, accounting for 37% of all workplace fatalities. However, farmers only account for 6% of the total workforce. Farm accidents can have devastating consequences for both the farmer and the farm family: lifelong disability, loss of independence, and mental health issues. Understanding the dangers involved and having appropriate knowledge of how to protect yourself against the dangers is the first step to reducing farm accidents. Today we're here on UCD Lyons Farm to discuss safety around livestock with Dr. Sinead Flannery of UCD.
Hi Robert.
Hi Sinead, how are things?
Good, thanks, how are you?
Super. So Sinead, we're here on Lyons Farm around the animal handling facilities. What are the key things we need to remember when working with these facilities, and how can students protect themselves out on farms?
Yeah, so when it comes to handling livestock, it's important that you're competent and remain calm and vigilant around them. So you need to have adequate animal handling skills. If you're not familiar with working with livestock, it's important that there's an experienced farmer present to kind of show you the ropes and the skills that are involved in handling animals carefully. It's really important that you have good animal handling facilities, so that includes things like a crush like we have here beside us. So again, it's to create that safe physical barrier between you and the animal. So again, when you have animals in a crush, it's important that you don't get into the crush with those animals, so that you don't get crushed between animals or between animals and a gate. And again, if you're carrying out procedures with animals, it's important that you're reaching in over the top bar of the crush and not in between bars. Again, that's to stop your hand or your arm getting caught by the animal and crushed. Again, a good headlocking gait to secure the animal's head for dosing or things like that. And again, if you're carrying out certain procedures with them, it's important that you're coming from behind the head as opposed to in front, so that you don't get a smack off the animal's head, or that your hand again doesn't get trapped. Some animal handling facilities like the crush will come with what's called a head scoop, and so if that's present on the crush, it's important that you use that to secure the animal's head, as it prevents them from being able to kind of move left and right. And again, when you're working with animals, obviously there's lots of zoonotic diseases out there, so PPE is really important. So wearing your gloves when you're handling animals is really important, so that you don't catch a disease that the animal might have and that can be transferred to the human.
Super. And I suppose there's a misconception around everyone that stock bulls are the most dangerous animal on farms. That might not necessarily be true.
Yeah, so traditionally speaking, people do think that the bull is the most dangerous animal on the farm, but actually when you look at the statistics, cattle are the #1 cause of injury. So again, the stock bull is a dangerous animal and we do have to be wary of them, but it's really important to keep in mind freshly calved cows at calving as well, because obviously their maternal instincts kick in, and their #1 job is to protect the calf or the newborn animal. So it's not just the bull that's dangerous on the farm. Actually, cattle and freshly calved cows are causing more accidents as well, so it's important to remain vigilant around all different types of animals. And again, things like breeding for docility is something that's taken a focus in recent years to try and sort of stamp out the incidents that are happening with livestock.
That's super, thanks a million Sinead. And you mentioned calving cows earlier on. We might go and take a look at the facilities involved with that. So Sinead, we're down here at the calving facilities. You might just explain a little bit more about them.
Yeah, so this is a calving pen, and every farm that's calving cows should have a calving pen on the farm. Each calving pin should have a calving gate, like you can see here, and then you've got the headlock gate where you can secure the cow. So this is really useful if you need to intervene during calving, and if you need to do a C-section, that calving gate allows the vet to access the cow safely. Other important features in a calving pin is a non-slip surface, obviously to prevent you or the animal from slipping. You should also plan your escape route out of the pin, should you need to escape quickly, should the cow get loose or decide to protect its young. And the calving gate is also really useful when it comes to tagging the calf, so it creates that physical barrier between you and the young animal, so that you don't get injured. Super.
And I suppose, what are the key take-home messages for students going out working on farm?
Yeah, so when it comes to working with livestock, it's about remaining calm and vigilant. It's about making sure you have the good animal handling facilities, so making use of that crush and having that safe physical barrier between you and the animal. It's about having these calving facilities and a calving pin in place. And then it's also about your PPE, so wearing your gloves to make sure you don't catch any of those zoonotic diseases.
That's super. Thanks a million, Sinead.